So I'm Thomas Curran. I'm one of the founders and CEO of Ory, and it's a real pleasure to be here today to talk to you about not only my ideas, but the ideas that a lot of our customers and community members are bringing to bear on the Ory, not only community, but also the products we're building. So thank you very much, first of all, and welcome. I want to talk a little bit about the role of AI in identity and how that's shaping a lot of the things that Ory will be doing in the next 2 years. In particular, AI, I think most of you have gotten this by now, is more than just another trend. AI is already part of our life. It's already it's already penetrating quite a lot of the things that we do. And of course, since Ory is very focused on identity as technologies that are used for identity and protecting identities, we think a little bit about the impact of AI on the future of identity. Let me talk about 4 things that are important for us. So first of all, personal identity. I think this is an application of its own already. The era of personal identity, where it's been held hostage with vertically integrated applications, is slowly but surely coming to an end. The Facebooks, the X's, the Twitters of the world have been managing identity in their platforms for a number of years, and AI gives us a way of separating those 2 things out over time. And that's very important because of the ability to use AI with personal identity. We'll be talking about that today. The second thing is machines also have identities, and those identities are used in algorithms. And algorithms, of course, mimic a lot of the human ethics and the way we think about identity. And somehow, over the near future, this will more and more be transferred to machines. So machines also have the same combination of AI and identity that people have. This includes, and you'll see today, automobiles, of course, locks, and other things that require us not only to have a footprint, a fingerprint, but some type of information about us that will help us protect the assets we have behind those locks, etc. Smarter living is a very big problem that we've had over the last 20 years, using technology in a way that helps our life. Of course, we have quite a lot of things, but AI is moving this now into a new dimension. Butlers, personal assistants, the way we navigate, use cars, etc. All of these things have something to do with identity, but again, our identity is now being captured with voice, with other biometric patterns. So smarter living is yet another way that we believe AI and identity will come together. And of course, blueprints are more than just fingerprints. They are a complete architecture of how we operate with identity and how we use identity, and AI is going to help us with that as well. The last thing I want to address is what we call the AI ID. So a combination of those things plus the idea that we can harness the machinery and the algorithms behind AI to create more utility for identity and how to use that in applications, not only for protection and security, but like I said, smarter living and utility of identity being something that we make better use of for ourselves. Now, what will Ory do? Ory, as a company, first of all, will continue to focus on open source as a framework for innovation, as a system. We believe there's more eyes, there's more talent, there's more developers and experience, and of course, better security. Open source is very, very important as a way to innovate the use of AI with identity. The second thing is to focus on developers, one of our strengths, and especially developer experience. Ory prides itself in harnessing developer experience and helping developers be more productive and faster. And as all of us know, speed is very important. As you've seen, the AI technologies graduate from being research lab technologies to everyday technology that we use. So how do you implement it better? How do you implement it safer? That's something that my friend and founder and lead developer, Aeneas, will drive, and together with one of our larger partners, unnamed AI company on the West Coast that we work with already, and we will continue to work with to innovate in this space and bring these two technology trends together. And where are we going to do that? In the Ory network, and Ory network will support the AI ID, will bring the benefits of security, low latency, global data and residency and compliance, and of course privacy to support this effort. This all means for developers, it's batteries included. You have for CISOs and for product managers, new ways of addressing customers, but you also have more visibility, more safety, more privacy, and of course more data. And data in an abstract sense will help us with quite a lot of the new business models that are being generated on the Ory network today. Now, passkeys, of course, will help us get rid of passwords, and that's already in motion, but the AI ID turns off login altogether. In other words, we'll have an always-on real-time access infrastructure, and that's the goal that Ory has by the end of 2025, to completely get rid of login. We see the Ory network working a lot, and this is part of our personality and background from telecom, more like a telephone in the future and less like the internet was conceived to be. Always on real-time access is not something that will happen quickly and will happen easily, but we believe it's also one of the key features of a system that helps prevent attacks and prevent security violations in the future. And I think that's something that we will spend a lot of time and effort on. So, we also have to worry about the machinery that's available today to hackers, and the new weapons that they can use to launch attacks on systems such as Ory network. We've seen this today. You'll hear from Andreas Buchstieg quite a lot of information about the attacks that we're seeing in our network. But specialized models already exist for hackers, LLMs that they can use to launch better and bigger attacks. And George Matthew, one of our leading investors, paving the way at Insight Partners to use and figure out ways for AI to be used against these type of attacks in the future. And I think it's clear that they're investing quite a lot of money in it, not only with Ory, but also with a number of other companies. So the Ory network is already using AI and ML to support customers to prevent fraud. We'll hear about that today, to fight botnets. I think you'll see a lot of activity at the Ory network around these things because they are damaging the customer's business that's out there today. And this, of course, will be a very big effort of ours in the future to make identity not just something that customers use, but companies can also benefit from the way that Ory works against these attacks. Of course, first-party data and making identity safe is also a big topic that we're looking at, and how we can connect that in the cookieless world to advertisers and to other customer-driven, data-driven platforms. And of course, this will be an important effort on our part to also protect the information and the privacy, and of course, connect that to consent. And think of the AI ID as something more like a briefcase and less like a token. And I think that's a very good way to end this part of the talk and introduce the things that are going to happen today at Ory. So first of all, I'm just going to use my telephone for this because we don't have it online yet. No, okay. So first of all, we have a guest speaker today who's come to us from St. Gallen, Switzerland. And Damien Borth is one of the leading researchers in artificial intelligence in Europe, if not the world. And he's going to talk a little bit about all the things you need to implement the new regulations that politicians are cooking up for the technology known as artificial intelligence. We have our friends from Google here today. They've been very supportive. We're going to talk a little bit about the cooperation between Google and Ory. And then I'm very proud to say we have Cisco here. So Cisco came to us about a half a year ago looking for a way to implement verified credentials. And why is that? Verified credentials help you prevent deepfakes and other AI-generated attacks on video conferencing We'll get a copy of the book. We just won't be able to have Bill sign it in person because we don't have it here on stock. Then we have our two geniuses in the Ory network talking about how they developed it and product managed. So Aeneas and Klaus are here. H.C. Hagen, thank you for coming all the way, looking at role-based access control in Ory. We have, and I think this is a very interesting thing to talk about because of the world changing from directory and X.500 and LDAP to more zero-trust technologies. So we have someone talking here today, Daniel and David, about the move from Microsoft Azure to Ory Network. Passwordless Earth is one of our go-to-market motions right now where we're talking about helping customers get from their existing password-based systems to a world without passwords. And that's something that we believe is, like I said, happening already, but will be intensified in 2024. And hopefully by 2025, we won't only not need passwords, we won't even need login anymore. So then we have also Anaconda, one of the leading technology drivers of AI tools here today to talk about their authentication infrastructure. We have healthcare, identity, and AI discussed with Ory, with Travis, came all the way from the United States here. Then we have CockroachDB, one of our big partners. The CockroachDB drives Ory Network. And over this past year, I'm proud to say that we developed some unique applications with CockroachDB that help us implement regulatory controls and data residency and GDPR and all this ugly stuff that you have to worry about as a developer. We do that for you. Last but not least, we have the master of the Ory network driving the day-to-day operations, Andreas, who's going to talk a little bit about his life. He looks pretty healthy, but I can tell you his life is not easy. Running networks in today's world, as I said, is very, very dangerous business to be in. So with that, and I think we're more or less on time for Damien to come up and talk to us about his research. And Damien, thank you for making the trip. It's good to see you here.